The year was 1982. The setting was a noisy studio commissary in Mexico City. Acclaimed director David Lynch sat eating lunch, his mind consumed by the stress of preparing his massive sci-fi epic, Dune. Suddenly, a gaunt, pale stranger with intense, haunting blue eyes approached his table. The stranger introduced himself with polite confidence as an actor and simply asked if there might be a role available. David Lynch froze. The blood drained from his face. He stared at the man as if witnessing a ghost manifest in broad daylight. After several seconds of stunned silence, Lynch finally gathered himself enough to confess the reason for his sheer terror. I thought you were dead." The stranger was Dean Stockwell, and instead of being offended, he just smiled. He knew that most of Hollywood assumed he was dead, or at the very least, had dissolved into the ether. How did a cinema prodigy, who carried the financial weight of his entire family on his shoulders at age 10, become a ghost? How did a wild counterculture hippie transform into a humdrum real estate agent, only to resurrect himself as a television legend? Welcome to the story of Dean Stockwell, the man who escaped Hollywood 3 times to find the soul he lost. Born on March 5, 1936 in North Hollywood, Dean Stockwell's fate was sealed the moment he took his first breath. He was born to be an instrument of entertainment. His father was the voice of Prince Charming in Disney's Snow White, and his mother was a vaudeville performer. By the time he was 7, Dean was thrust onto the Broadway stage. Almost immediately, an MGM talent scout spotted the gold mine in this small boy. A contract was signed. Dean was thrown into MGM's Little Red Schoolhouse alongside Elizabeth Taylor. By age 9, he made his film debut. By age 10, listen closely to this statistic. Dean Stockwell was the primary breadwinner, supporting his entire family with his earnings. A 10-year-old child, carrying the livelihood of adults on his back. But behind the glamour of films like Anchors Aweigh, starring alongside Frank Sinatra, or Gentleman's Agreement, was a child being subjected to sophisticated emotional abuse. Dean possessed an uncanny ability to cry on cue. Studio executives exploited this ruthlessly. Dean vividly recalled a horrific memory involving legendary director Elia Kazan. To force the boy to deliver the most authentic tears possible for a scene, Kazan forced Dean to visualize a puppy dying a slow, painful death right in front of him. It was an act of psychological torture on a sensitive child. Dean later described his childhood as extreme psychological pressure. Likening the studio lot to a prison, he was treated like a pint-sized adult. No friends, no play, only work, and the invasive glare of the press. He hated the fame so deeply that he developed a desire for self-sabotage. Dean bitterly admitted, "I couldn't wait to get pimples. I couldn't wait to get awkward. I ruined my posture. I did everything just to look ugly, to look clumsy, just to get out of it." In 1953, when his 7-year contract with MGM finally expired, the 6-year-old Dean Stockwell did the unthinkable. He walked away. He chopped off his trademark curls and tried to vanish into anonymity. Dean disappeared completely for 5 years. He roamed the country, doing manual labor, pumping gas, desperately trying to live a normal life. But a brutal reality soon slapped the former prodigy in the face. Outside of acting, he was useless. He had no other skills to survive. In 1957, at age 21, broke and backed into a corner, Dean returned to acting. This time he chose Broadway, and quickly proved that his natural genius had never faded. Success came rushing back, fast and bright. In 1959 and 1962, Dean Stockwell won the Best Actor award at the Cannes Film Festival twice, for Compulsion and Long Day's Journey into Night. He was suddenly standing on the same pedestal as giants like Orson Welles and Katharine Hepburn. But glory didn't heal his wounds, it only deepened the void. Dean's personal life spiraled into crisis. He married actress Millie Perkins, but the marriage imploded after just 2 years. Millie divorced him, citing a shocking reason. Dean had inflicted mental cruelty. The peak of his self-destruction is a story that stunned Hollywood. In a fit of drunken rage and deep depression, Dean Stockwell took his prestigious Cannes Film Festival trophies and threw them into the fireplace. He burned them. He watched the flames consume the ultimate symbols of his success. He loathed the fame. He could not forgive the industry that had stolen his childhood. In 1965, at just 29 years old, standing at the summit of international acclaim, Dean Stockwell quit acting for the second time. The 1,960 seconds exploded, and Dean found the place he truly belonged, the hippie movement. He reflected, "The flower children and the love-ins, that was the childhood I never had." Dean moved to the artistic slums of Topanga Canyon, grew his hair long, experimented with psychedelics, and bonded with the era's greatest rebels, Dennis Hopper, Jack Nicholson, and Neil Young. For 15 years, Dean lived like a ghost on the fringes of Hollywood. He rejected mainstream cinema. He only accepted bizarre roles in B-movies or hallucinogenic films like Psych Out or The Last Movie, shot in the chaotic wilds of Peru. He was no longer the polished MGM boy. He was a mystic guru, a cool, detached observer. But every party must end. By the 1,970 seconds, Hollywood had changed. When Dean wanted to return to serious work because his funds were running dry, every door was slammed in his face. In the eyes of producers, he was a washed-up child star, an unpredictable junkie. Financial tragedy struck. His value plummeted so low that he was forced to perform in dinner theaters, acting on tiny stages while the audience below chewed their food. From the heights of Cannes to the humiliation of dinner theater, the fall was unbearable. By 1982, at age 46, bankrupt, desperate, and forgotten, Dean Stockwell made his third and most shocking decision. Dean quit acting entirely. He moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and obtained his real estate license. Imagine this. An actor who had twice won Best Actor at Cannes was now placing ads in a local trade paper that read, "Dean Stockwell will help you with all your real estate needs in the new center of creative energy." This was not a joke. This was survival mode. He truly believed his career was over, and Hollywood believed it too. Rumors spread that Dean Stockwell had died of a drug overdose or an accident. That is exactly why David Lynch was terrified when he saw him appear in Mexico. But fate writes the craziest scripts. In 1984, a fateful phone call rang out. On the other end was Harry Dean Stanton, an old friend from the hippie days. Stanton was starring in the film Paris, Texas, and he adamantly told director Wim Wenders, "The guy playing my brother has to be Dean Stockwell and no one else." Dean threw away his real estate brochures and flew to the set. The role of Walt in the masterpiece Paris, Texas, reminded the world exactly who he was. It was a performance of quiet strength, deep emotion, and the vulnerability of a man trying to heal a broken family. The film won the Palme d'Or, and the name Dean Stockwell officially rose from the dead. Following that ghostly encounter with David Lynch, Dean was cast as Ben in the dark cult classic Blue Velvet, 1986. It became one of the most terrifying and bizarre roles in cinema history. Dean appeared as a lipstick-wearing pimp in a smoking jacket, holding a mechanic's work light instead of a microphone, lip-syncing to Roy Orbison's In Dreams. David Lynch revealed that singing into the work light was entirely improvised by Dean on set when he saw the equipment lying on the floor. With his heavy-lidded eyes and effeminate yet menacing gestures, the character of Ben stole the movie right out from under Dennis Hopper's main villain. Hopper later admitted, "That scene was the high point of the film. Dean has ways of acting that no one else can touch." Riding this wave, in 1988, he earned his first and only Academy Award nomination for his role as a comical mafia don in Married to the Mob. At 50 years old, Dean Stockwell had it all: fame, respect, and a happy family with his wife Joy Marchenko. But Dean was still Dean, always doing the unexpected. In 1989, while a sought-after movie star, he suddenly signed a contract to star in a network television series. His best friend Dennis Hopper uttered a sentence that became infamous. Well, that's the end of his career. At that time, For an Oscar-nominated film actor to do TV was considered a tragic step down, career suicide. But they were dead wrong. That show was Quantum Leap. The role of Admiral Al Calavici, the holographic companion, turned Dean into a global pop culture icon. Al was a flashy, cigar-chomping womanizer, but hidden beneath was the wounded soul of a Vietnam veteran and former POW. For 5 seasons and 97 episodes, 1,989 to 1,993, the incredible chemistry between Dean Stockwell and lead actor Scott Bakula captivated millions. The role won him a Golden Globe in 1990. For the first time in his life, after decades of turbulence, Dean Stockwell found financial stability and a fame he could live with. He emotionally admitted, "This is the first time I've truly enjoyed acting and felt proud of it." After Quantum Leap ended to the dismay of fans, Dean continued to contribute through roles in Battlestar Galactica, JAG, and The Player. He became a revered godfather figure to sci-fi fans. Beyond acting, he was a talented visual artist. Few people know that a photograph he took of artist Wallace Berman appears on the cover of the Beatles' legendary album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. He was also the muse who inspired Neil Young's classic album After the Gold Rush. In 2015, following a severe stroke, Dean Stockwell quietly retired at the age of 79. He spent his final years with his family, completely removed from the spotlights he had spent his youth running away from. On the 7th of November, 2021, Dean Stockwell passed away peacefully at home from natural causes. He was 85. Outro. The life of Dean Stockwell was not a bed of roses. It was a violent sine wave full of drama and tears. From a 10-year-old carrying a family's finances to a man who hated fame. From a Cannes winner burning his trophies in a fireplace to a drug-fueled hippie. From a forgotten real estate agent to a television legend. He survived the child star curse. He survived the insane temptations of the 60 Seconds. And he survived the brutal rejection of Hollywood when they thought he was dead. As he himself said in the 80 Seconds, "My priority is survival, and I survived, on my own terms." To survive, he had to be both famous and anonymous, both a ghost and a legend. That was the greatest quantum leap of Dean Stockwell's life. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next mystery on Hollywood Mysteries. Goodbye and see you soon.